Why did we do a RF semiconductor or product company for the emerging deep tech semiconductor, like in the radar space, where we wanted to create a big impact, not only at the domestic level, but also at the global level. We want to build optimized, efficient radar systems and the communication systems from India.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Founder Spotlight series from Tracxn, where we invite startup founders to share their journey, their insights, some sort of advice to the youngsters who have startup dreams. Well, today with me is Mr. Gautam Singh, who is the founder of Fermionic Design. Hi Gautam,
Hi, Sufyan.
and I would love to welcome you on behalf of Tracxn family. And thank you so much for making some time out of your busy schedule. My name is Supain Dasgupta, and I am heading the entire startup vertical over here. So let's get started with some sort of interaction now. To start
Yep.
with, Gautam,
Yep.
I would love to understand the backstory of Fermionic Design. What was the trigger point for you that you started this company?
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. Before we go into the backstory, right, let me talk a bit about my background and then how that background created this, I'll not call it a eureka moment, but why moment, that why we should be doing Fermionic. So I come from a deep tech engineering background, particularly in semiconductor. Probably that's one of the deepest of the deep tech. And my experience lies into high-speed connectivity and then solving problems for the advanced emerging technology requirements. And I had a privilege of working for large global semiconductor companies and then also some of the successful startups from India. And over a career of like about more than 2 decades, right? If you see that, like one of the why moment, why did we do Fermionic from India was the one thing is that we do consume as a country a lot of electronics. However, we hardly produce anything. So in the sense that like even though all the large semiconductor companies, they do have presence, they do have a large engineering centers, but you would have hardly heard any semiconductor company, product company from India serving not only for the domestic customers, but also for the global market requirements, right? And if you ask me, was this the high why moment? It was not a one-time trigger, right? But this was the thing which was constantly inspiring instead of bothering that, like, why not to build a product company from India, serving the domestic market and then also serving the global market. And that is the kind of backstory why we started Fermionic. Then there's a lot of other elements. Why did we do a RF semiconductor or product company for the emerging deep tech semiconductor? There are a lot of thought process. Why did we do into RF? Certainly because there are a lot of system companies in India, say like in the radar space, where we wanted to create a big impact, not only at the domestic level, but also at the global level. So that's kind of backstory behind Fermionic. And with that ambition, we started that we want to build products from India for optimized, efficient radar systems and then the communication systems from India, and a variety of products, not just one product which we want to build.
Well, that's very, very interesting, Gautam. Nice to hear that. And also, if you can just help us understand what is in store for us and what is in store for your company for another 12 months, if something is going to be very, very exciting to be heard after another few months from now, that will be very interesting for us.
So we are in this business since last 5 years, and I'll not call that like we are a very young company. We have covered a lot of significant milestones. So maybe 5 years for a deep tech product company, it's a small time. Given the long production cycles of building chips and then particularly building chips in the RF space. However, in last 5 years, we could achieve a lot. And if you see that like next a year or so, it's going to be a significant jump from here. in the sense is that like we could develop our own beamformer technology, the one which goes for radar applications. And these are, it's like the requirements for the radars are, it's a high reliability and advanced communication systems, right? So requirements are entirely different. We have a solid product in hand, which is already at the production stage. And we are proud to say that our product has already entered into the production stage where we could build the technology, homegrown indigenous technology we could build. We could identify all the manufacturing partners from the foundry, from the OSAT, finding the test house, finding the assembly house. We have already covered that. We have also have a good traction with some of the large radar OEMs in India. So if I see that like next 12 months, how we are taking this product and then how we are going to scale. So essentially, you will hear a lot of news coming from Fermionic or from partner company where they have started using our parts for building their radar systems. And these radar systems, they'll be not only for strategic use, like they'll be also for, you'll hear quite a few emerging technology applications also. So certainly long distance radar, the airborne and then the ground terminal radars, you'll hear quite a lot of success story where OEMs will start using our parts and they would have gone beyond a pilot run. They would have started doing a real validation of their radar systems built using Fermionic parts, building entirely using our parts. And also this getting extended to other applications like drone detection, drone communication kind of systems.
Interesting, very interesting. You see, the way various co-founders talk about a fundraise journey is very, very interesting, right? Different people have different approach towards fundraise journey, right? How did that happen to your company? And the why, what, where is something very interesting for me to understand from your side, the entire fundraise story of yours, if you can just share a bit.
So fundraising is tough, and then certainly say like in a deep tech company where you need a lot of patient capital. So it just because the development cycles are entirely wrong. I'm not here talking about the capability of the founder or capability of the team. Those are the things which are mandatory. Without having a good team, without having a good product market fit, right, it becomes very, very hard to raise fund. However, the thing is that like how you translate your story and vision, where you're building a product company to investor friendly or a pitch which the investors can understand, and the value what you are creating, what kind of commercial sense it makes sense, right? So yeah, so the thing is that like the entire the fund raising was around it. So in the sense that like we were very confident that like we have a great team, we have a great product idea, but giving this confidence that like this product idea has a lot of value, and the products what we are trying to build, it can stand at the global level. So here we are not talking about competition only coming from the Indian companies. At the deep tech field, or at least like in the semiconductor field, right, you get compared with the global semiconductor companies. Your product should be better than the existing incumbents, which are the large semiconductor companies. And if you are not able to give the value addition and differentiation, not only in terms of performance, but also in terms of simplifying the system design. So essentially, if your product is not driving your customer towards a lower cost of ownership, right, TCO, it becomes very difficult. Yeah, we stitched our story around how using Fermionic parts, where we are owning this entire technology, the total cost of ownership for a system company reduces. And this is the thing what kind of resonated very well with some of the VCs and then the investors whom we talked, where they could understand that the founders, they are not emotionally attached just to the problem. They are also working in a problem which has a immense value, and there is an immediate benefit what the end customer sees. And they have already beyond the drawing board. So you know that like we are there in this business since last 5 years, and we did raise our round, only the first round, the seed round, only when we had a winning product in hand, where we already had developed the product in a bootstrapped manner, and we could also do a small pilot demonstration to some of the potential customers. So if you ask me, we kind of waited for that moment where the value what we are creating in this product journey, we are able to showcase, demonstrate this to our end customer, and product reduces that entire cost of ownership, right? That is, which really solves a problem what the OEMs are facing as such. So like we have already done a seed round, we are also doing a few more rounds before we scale to next level. And our story is going to be consistent in the senses that approach on the fundraise is going to be the same, and then how it helps my end customers to reduce the total cost of ownership, and at the same time what kind of market opportunity we are going behind. So these are the 2 3 elements where we focus, and then we try to have solid answer. It's like before you go for any investment.
Thanks, Gautam. Coming down to my another segment of discussion, which is around the role that Tracxn would have played in the last couple of years for you in terms of either fundraise or market research or any kind of market intel. I would like to hear from your side. How did you utilize this entire platform to the best of the benefit?
A very honest answer here.
Sure.
The thing that like I knew about the Tracxn platform long ago. However, I had my own apprehensions that the entire platform is more towards the investor side than the startup side as such. So I kind of onboarded on this platform for more for the discovery point of view. So I was looking for a platform which is more like cost effective for sure, but at the same time rich in content, and then very easy for the from the navigation point of view as such. And after our initial, you can think of maybe evaluation, we kind of liked it. That platform is not too tech heavy. It has been built at in a very what we call simplified and easy to use manner with a lot of data. Now the thing is that like every platform, it takes its own time before it enriches its entire database. So Tracxn is also going through that phase where the constant addition of the new data set keeps on happening, which also helps us in the sense that it keeps on getting updated on a regular basis. And that's the one thing what we liked. We also liked some of the discovery based on my point of contact or RMs, what was the account manager, right? So if some data was missing, let's assume we wanted to analyze some market data, or just to have a lay of land that like which all startups are there, from which geography, to get a comprehensive view of that. So certainly this platform has helped in such discovery.
Right. So basically, the entire market understanding as far as your domain is concerned, right? Market exploration is something which has helped, right?
Yeah,
Got
correct.
it. Got it. Right. Talking about my final segment for today, that is something which I ask to most of the founders before I leave. Youngsters who are looking for startup, right, who are there to solve something for India. What is your advice to those all those people who are looking for starting something on their own?
So the thing is that like again, this can be individual choice. Again, I encourage everyone to do one startup at least like in their entire lifetime. Okay. However, the scene is changing day by day. And again, with a lot of enhancement and then advancement of the technologies, right? The expectation from the startups are also increasing day by day. In the sense that like certainly everyone expects you to solve at least like a real world problem, and that expectation is not going to go away. So what my advice would be for anyone who is thinking of starting, right, ensure that like you are working on a real world problem. And by real world problem, what I mean is that like a problem where your customers are going to use it. So ensure that you have identified a problem, and then you also understand your customers, and try to put yourself in the customer's shoes, understanding that like the problem what you are trying to solve, is this really needed by a customer? So this comes only when you are deeply rooted into the understanding of the problem what you are solving. So instead of just having maybe what you call that a little bit of shallow approach on the identification of the problem, right? A deeper understanding of the problem from a holistic point of view can give a better insight that the problem what they are trying to solve, how real it is, what is going to help their end customer as such. So if they are clear, they should certainly do it. And again, the thing is that the world is it's like day by day world gives a bigger and bigger opportunity. That's there. But at the same time, the barrier to enter is also increasing. So in the sense is that I will not encourage or suggest anyone to do a startup just for the sake of doing. So I feel that like we are gone past those days. If someone has identified or someone has understood a real problem, what they are going to solve, I feel they should be doing it. The thing is that like there are enough support, and if the problem is real, you'll always find support. By support, what I mean is that good team and also the capital needed to solve that problem. So the other aspects are there. It may take some time before they can manage everything, but if the problem is real, probably rest everything gets lined up automatically. So that will be my advice, that be prepared to build a startup, not just from the emotional sake, but from say like real
actually solving a real life problem.
Yeah, solving a real life problem, but which makes commercial sense.
Commercial viability as well.
Yeah.
To sustain and grow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for that advice, right? And thank you so much, Gautam, for joining us today. It was wonderful doing this conversation. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure. Always happy to talk.
Right.